I'm standing in the ICU at Methodist Dallas Medical Center, watching my son Michael's chest rise and fall with the ventilator. Room 318. The machines beep constantly. His wedding ring catches the harsh fluorescent light. Dana hasn't been here in 6 days, but I know exactly where she is because her friend posted it all over Facebook. The champagne, the sunset cruise, the woman in the red dress who isn't my daughter-in-law. $28,000 worth of yacht rental while my boy fights for his life. Name's Frank Rodriguez, 67 years old, retired police chief from Dallas PD. 35 years on the force taught me to notice things others miss. And right now, everything about Dana Thompson's behavior screams guilty. The head nurse, Patricia, pulls me aside at 11:30 p.m. She's worked here 18 years, seen everything twice. "Mr. Rodriguez," she whispers, "there's something you need to know about your daughter-in-law." Her hands shake as she shows me the clipboard. What I discovered that night changed everything. 8 weeks ago, Michael was driving home from baseball practice at Roosevelt High where he coaches. Brake failure on Highway 75, car wrapped around an oak tree. The doctors said traumatic brain injury, induced coma, touch and go. Dana seemed devastated at first, crying, holding his hand, all the right moves. But by day 5, something felt off. Dana Thompson, 38, construction engineer, former Air Force. Met Michael 4 years ago at a company barbecue. Good-looking, confident, seemed to genuinely care about my son. I was happy when they got married. Michael deserved someone who'd love him. Turns out, I was dead wrong. That night, Patricia shows me Michael's medical chart. "Look at this DNR order," she says. "Do not resuscitate," signed 3 days ago at 2:15 p.m. Problem is, Dana was supposedly in Austin on a job site when this was filed. I saw her Facebook check-in at the Marriott downtown. Basic police work. Timeline doesn't match. There's more, Patricia continues. The attending physician never signed off. Hospital policy requires 2 signatures for DNR orders. This only has 1. In 35 years of police work, I've seen plenty of forged documents. This one's amateur hour. She pulls out her phone, shows me the visitor log for room 3118. Dana Thompson, March 18th, 7:22 p.m. March 25th, 11:45 a.m. That's it. 2 visits in 8 weeks. Meanwhile, I've been here every day, sometimes sleeping in the chair next to Tyler when he stays overnight on weekends. Tyler's my grandson, 8 years old. Michael's pride and joy. Kid's got his dad's love for baseball and his grandpa's stubborn streak. Been staying with me since the accident because Dana claims she can't handle a child right now. Too emotionally drained, she said. Yeah, drained from partying. The other nurses are talking, Patricia says, about phone calls. Dana's been calling the insurance company daily, asking about life insurance policies. Death benefits. She thinks we don't hear, but the consultation room walls are thin. $2.8 million. Michael's life insurance policy, taken out 2 years ago when Dana pushed for it. "We need to protect our future," she said. "What if something happens to you?" Future my ass. She was planning this even then. Patricia checks her watch. There's something else about Tyler. Dana filed papers with Child Services yesterday, claiming you're too old to care for him if something happens to Michael. Says you have early-stage dementia. The lie hits me like a sucker punch. I had my annual physical last month. Sharp as ever, clean bill of health. My doctor even joked about my memory being better than his. She's trying to isolate Michael, cut off everyone who cares about him. It's a pattern I've seen before in domestic cases, usually right before the worst happens. I think about all those Sunday mornings teaching Tyler to fish at White Rock Lake, the kid asking endless questions about everything. Why fish bite, how engines work, what it was like being a cop. "Grandpa, you're the smartest person I know," he said last weekend, "and this woman wants to take him away from me." Patricia looks around nervously. "Mr. Rodriguez, there's one more thing." Last night, Dana came to the ICU at 1:30 a.m. She wasn't scheduled, and she went directly to Michael's room with something in her hand. When I asked what she was doing, she got angry, said it was routine care, but there was no medical order in the chart. My blood runs cold. What was she carrying? A syringe, unmarked. I secured it according to hospital protocol for suspicious medications. It's being tested by the lab right now. 35 years of police work taught me to trust my gut, and my gut is screaming that Dana Thompson tried to kill my son. The question is, what was in that syringe? The next morning, I sit in my truck outside Methodist Dallas, watching the sunrise paint the hospital walls orange. I've got two choices. I can go through official channels, report this to Dallas PD, hope they take an old retired chief seriously, wait for bureaucracy to maybe protect my family, or I can handle this the way I handled problems for 35 years on the force. Direct action, solid evidence, no room for lawyers to wiggle. I pull out my phone and dial a number I haven't used in 2 years. Tommy Martinez, my old partner, now running private investigations. We worked patrol together for 8 years, solved cases the brass said were impossible. If anyone can help me nail Dana Thompson, it's Tommy. Frank Rodriguez, you old bastard. Thought you were enjoying retirement, fishing, and spoiling that grandson of yours. Tommy, I need a favor. Big one. Name it. I need you to dig into someone. Financial records, phone records, everything you can find. I think someone's trying to kill my son for insurance money. Silence on the line. Tommy knows I don't joke about family. Who we looking at? My daughter-in-law. Dana Thompson, 38, construction engineer. And Tommy, I think she's already tried once. 3 days later, Tommy calls me back. We meet at Murphy's Diner on Commerce Street, our old spot from patrol days. Same corner booth where we used to plan stakeouts and compare notes on cases. Tommy slides a manila folder across the table, his face grim. Frank, this is worse than you thought. Dana Thompson, construction engineer, salary $85,000 annually. But her expenses in the past 8 months? $95,000. She's been living way beyond her means. I flip through bank statements, credit card records, yacht rentals, $28,000, jewelry purchases at expensive stores, $12,000, all for someone named Jessica Walsh. Dinners at fancy restaurants, $8,500 total. A Tag Heuer watch, $6,200. Every single purchase screams affair. Where's she getting this money, I ask, though I already know the answer makes my stomach turn. Michael's accounts. Not just the joint checking, but his individual teacher's retirement savings. $95,000 withdrawn in small amounts over 8 months. Nothing big enough to trigger automatic bank alerts, but steady, systematic theft. I think about Michael at age 12, saving his allowance for weeks to buy me a Father's Day present. A coffee mug that said, "World's best dad," that I still use every morning. He's always been careful with money, taught kids the value of saving, and this woman has been stealing from him while he lay dying. Tommy keeps going. Life insurance inquiry records show Dana's been calling Mutual of Texas every week for 6 weeks. Same questions every time. What documentation is required for death benefit claims? How quickly are payments processed? Can claims be expedited in medical emergencies? She's not just planning Michael's death. She's got a timeline. There's more, Frank. Remember that car accident? I had my guy look at the police report. Brake failure, they said. But I know a mechanic who specializes in forensic vehicle analysis, retired from the state police. He looked at the photos. Tommy pulls out enlarged photos of Michael's Honda. See this cut in the brake line? That's not wear and tear. That's deliberate. Made with precision tools, probably something from a construction site. My hands start shaking. Dana didn't just try to kill Michael in the hospital. She caused the accident that put him there in the first place. 2 murder attempts, and I'm the only one who knows. That evening, Tyler and I are in Michael's room. The kid's reading his dad a chapter from Hatchet, the same book Michael read to him last summer during our camping trip to Lake Texoma. Tyler's voice cracks when he gets to the part about the boy missing his father. Grandpa, why doesn't Mom come see Dad anymore? How do you tell an 8-year-old that his stepmother is a murderer? She's having a hard time, buddy. Some people deal with sad things differently, but you come every day. And you're sad too. Smart kid, gets that from his father. That's because family sticks together, Tyler, no matter what. My phone rings, Dana's name on the screen. I step into the hallway to answer. Frank, we need to talk about Michael's situation. Situation. Like she's discussing a broken air conditioner, not her husband fighting for his life. What about it? Let's be realistic here. The brain scans show significant trauma. Dr. Williams says recovery is unlikely. I watch Tyler through the glass, still reading to his unconscious father. Which Dr. Williams? Dr. Sarah Williams, the neurologist. Best in Dallas, everyone says so. I write down the name. Tommy will check that too. Dana, I know this is difficult, but I have to think about Tyler's future, about my career. I can't put my life on hold indefinitely. Your life. While my son lies unconscious, you're worried about your convenience. What exactly are you saying? Michael would want me to move on, to find happiness. He always said life's too short to waste on regrets. I think about Jessica Walsh in that red dress, about the champagne photos posted while Michael was having emergency surgery 8 weeks ago. Dana, are you familiar with Texas community property laws? Long pause. I don't see why that's relevant. As Michael's spouse, you're entitled to 50% of his assets, including the life insurance, but only if you're still married when he dies. Divorce changes everything. I can hear her breathing change. Faster now. What are you implying? $2.8 million is a lot of money for someone with your expenses. The yacht rental, $28,000. That's what Jessica posted on Facebook. Beautiful sunset photos while my son was in surgery. Sharp intake of breath. You've been watching Jessica's social media? Dana, I'm a retired police chief. I noticed things like forged DNR orders. The timestamp says 2:15 p.m. Tuesday, but Jessica's Facebook shows you were both in Austin until 4:30. The mask starts slipping. I can hear the panic creeping into her voice. Look, Frank, I understand you're upset, but Michael is brain dead. The machines are keeping him alive, but he's not coming back. Dr. Williams confirmed it. Interesting, because I called Dr. Williams this morning. She's never examined Michael. Never even heard of him. In fact, there's no neurologist named Sarah Williams at Methodist Dallas. Complete silence. When Dana speaks again, her voice has changed. Lower, colder, more dangerous. Listen carefully, old man. I'm a licensed engineer with connections all over this city. You're a washed-up cop who can barely figure out Facebook. Michael is going to die, and when he does, I'm moving on with my life. Tyler will have a new mother, a functioning one. The words hit like a physical blow, but my voice stays steady. 35 years of police work taught me never to show emotion when the suspect starts talking. Interesting choice of words, I'll remember that. And another thing, you're not welcome at this hospital anymore. I've talked to security, told them you're becoming unstable, making threats. Try to visit Michael again and they'll call the police. I think about Patricia and the other nurses who've watched Dana abandon her husband. About Tyler reading to his father every evening. Dana, you know, what I learned in 35 years of police work? What? The spouse who fights hardest to keep family away from their dying partner usually has something to hide. You don't know anything, Dana snaps. I know Jessica Walsh is 29 years old, works at Pinnacle Financial Services, the same company that handles construction insurance claims. I know she's been accessing private financial records without authorization. That's a federal crime, Dana. I hear her fumble the phone. You're bluffing. I know you've taken Jessica to Del Frisco's 17 times in the past 8 months. Average cost per meal, $280. That's $4,760 in restaurant bills alone on an engineer's salary. Want me to keep going? My voice drops to a whisper. And I know you've been planning this for 2 years, Dana, since the day you convinced Michael to increase his life insurance. The line goes quiet except for heavy breathing. You have no proof. Patricia's lab results came back this morning. That syringe you brought to Michael's room? Potassium chloride, enough to stop a heart in minutes. That's not routine care, Dana. That's attempted murder. Click. She hangs up. At 2:30 a.m., I'm sitting beside Michael's bed again. The ICU is quiet except for the machines keeping my son alive. I've been thinking about Dana's threat to ban me from the hospital, about Tyler losing both his father and his grandfather in one swoop, about justice and family and what a man does when the system fails him. I pull out my phone and call my lawyer, Janet Parker. We've known each other for 20 years, worked together on dozens of cases when I was on the force. Janet, sorry to wake you, but I need an emergency petition filed first thing Monday morning. Frank, it's 2:30 in the morning. This better be life or death. It is. I need temporary guardianship of my grandson. I have evidence his stepmother attempted to murder his father and is planning to take the boy away from me. Silence. Janet knows I don't exaggerate. What kind of evidence? I tell her about the forged DNR, the syringe with poison, the financial theft, the sabotaged brake lines. My God, Frank, are you sure about this? Janet, I spent 35 years putting away people who hurt families. I'm not going to let it happen to mine. What do you need? Full investigation, forensic accounting, everything. I want every penny she stole, every lie she told, every law she broke documented and ready for court. That's expensive, Frank. We're talking $50,000 minimum for a case this complex. I think about my retirement savings. $340,000 built up over 35 years. Money I plan to leave to Michael and Tyler. Money isn't the issue. Protecting my family is. Monday morning, Dr. Linda Park arrives at Janet's office. Forensic accountant, 15 years with the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit before going private. Tommy recommended her. Frank, I've reviewed the preliminary materials your investigator provided. Your daughter-in-law is either incredibly arrogant or incredibly stupid. She opens her laptop, shows me spreadsheets that make my head spin. She's been systematic but sloppy. Used her work computer for financial transfers, thinking nobody would notice. Every transaction has a digital fingerprint, timestamps, IP addresses, location data. Dr. Park clicks to another screen. March 15th, 1:47 p.m., withdrew $8,500 from Michael's retirement account. Her work computer shows she was in a client meeting in Fort Worth at that exact time. Impossible to be in two places at once. The evidence keeps piling up. Every withdrawal matches up perfectly with her spending. March 16th, spent $8,200 at Zales Jewelry. Diamond earrings for Jessica Walsh, paid for with Michael's money while he lay unconscious. How much total? I ask. $95,000 over 8 months. But here's the smoking gun. She shows me phone records. Dana's been calling Mutual of Texas every week, asking the same questions about death benefits. The calls are logged, timed, and the insurance company keeps recordings for quality assurance. She plays me the audio. Dana's voice, cold and calculating. If my husband dies from his injuries, how quickly can the death benefit be processed? What about expedited claims for medical emergencies? Then the recording that makes my blood boil. If there are questions about the death certificate, who makes the final determination? Can family members contest the payout? She's been planning every detail. Tuesday morning, I make my move. I call Dr. Patricia Hammond, Chief of Staff at Methodist Dallas. We've known each other for 10 years, served together on the hospital's Community Advisory Board. Patricia, I need to report a serious ethics violation. A family member has been accessing patient records without authorization, forging medical documents, and attempting to administer unauthorized medications. That's extremely serious, Frank. Who is it? Dana Thompson. She's my son Michael Rodriguez's wife, and Patricia, she tried to inject him with potassium chloride 4 days ago. Long silence. Frank, if this is true, we're talking about attempted murder on hospital premises. I'll need to see all the evidence immediately. Dr. Park will deliver the full forensic report within the hour. But Patricia, there's something else. Dana's been calling insurance companies daily, asking about death benefit procedures while actively preventing medical treatment that could save Michael's life. I'm calling an emergency medical board meeting for this afternoon. Can you be there? Wouldn't miss it. That afternoon, the medical board meeting feels like a trial. 5 doctors, 2 administrators, and the hospital's legal counsel. Dana sits across the table with her lawyer, some expensive suit from downtown Dallas. She's trying to look composed, but I can see the panic in her eyes. Dr. Park presents her evidence methodically. Bank records, phone logs, computer timestamps. Every piece of evidence builds the case that Dana Thompson has been systematically stealing from her comatose husband while planning his murder. The hospital's legal counsel asks the question everyone's thinking. Mrs. Thompson, can you explain why you attempted to administer potassium chloride to your husband without a physician's order? Dana's lawyer whispers urgently in her ear. My client declines to answer pending ongoing legal proceedings. Dr. Hammond doesn't need to hear more. Mrs. Thompson, you are hereby banned from Methodist Dallas Medical Center premises, effective immediately. Security has your photograph. Any attempt to enter this facility will result in immediate arrest. Dana's mask finally slips completely. You can't do this. He's my husband. I have rights. Mrs. Thompson, Dr. Hammond says quietly, attempted murder supersedes spousal rights. As we leave the meeting, I see Dana in the parking lot screaming into her phone, probably calling Jessica, probably planning to run. But it's too late for running. The FBI will be knocking on her door by morning. The FBI comes knocking Wednesday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. Tommy calls me with the news. Frank, they got her. Dana Thompson and Jessica Walsh, both arrested on federal charges. Wire fraud, conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud. The works. I'm in Michael's room when Tommy calls, having coffee and reading him the sports section like I used to when he was a kid. Tyler's asleep in the chair, still wearing his Roosevelt Tigers jersey from yesterday's game. Kids team won 8-3 and he got 2 hits. Michael would have been so proud. What about Jessica, I ask. Found her at DFW airport trying to board a flight to Vancouver. Had $35,000 cash in her luggage and a one-way ticket. Guess she figured things were getting hot and decided to run. Federal agents found something else in Jessica's apartment that made my stomach turn. A laptop computer with detailed records of the murder plot, including emails between her and Dana planning what they called the accident. They documented their own crimes, thinking they were too smart to get caught. The criminal trial moves fast when you have that much evidence. Federal prosecutors don't mess around with attempted murder cases, especially when the defendants are stupid enough to leave a digital trail. Dana Thompson, guilty on all counts. 15 years federal prison, no possibility of parole for 8 years. Jessica Walsh, 6 years, eligible for parole in 3. The civil lawsuit recovers everything. Michael's stolen retirement funds, punitive damages, legal fees. Total settlement, $680,000. Enough to secure Tyler's college education and Michael's long-term care if needed. But the best news comes 6 months later on a Tuesday morning in October. I'm teaching Tyler how to tie fishing knots at White Rock Lake when my phone rings. Patricia from the hospital, voice shaking with excitement. "Mr. Rodriguez, you need to get here right now." Michael's awake. Tyler and I break every speed limit getting to Methodist Dallas. When we walk into room 318, Michael's sitting up in bed looking confused but alert. His first word when he sees us, "Dad?" I can't speak for a full minute. Tyler has no such problem. He launches himself at his father, baseball glove still on his hand, talking a mile a minute about everything that's happened. "Dad, you missed my whole season, but Grandpa came to every game and took pictures for you, and I learned to catch fly balls, and oh, Dad, you're going to be so mad about what Mom did." Michael looks at me over Tyler's head, questions in his eyes. I mouth the words later, and she's gone. He nods, understanding more than an 8-year-old should have to explain. Dr. Patterson, the real neurologist, explains Michael's recovery. Remarkable progress. Some memory gaps from the trauma, but cognitive function appears normal. Physical therapy will take months, but the prognosis is excellent. That evening, after Tyler falls asleep in the hospital chair, Michael and I talk. I tell him everything. The brake line sabotage, the stolen money, the attempted poisoning, Dana's plan to kill him for insurance money. His face goes through a dozen emotions: shock, anger, betrayal, finally settling on sadness. "Dad, I loved her. I really thought she loved me back. Son, some people are just broken inside. You can't fix them, and it's not your fault for trusting. What about Tyler? This is going to mess him up." I look at my grandson, snoring softly in the chair, still clutching a baseball from yesterday's practice. Tyler's tougher than you think, and he's got family who'll never let him down. 6 months later, we're all at Tyler's championship game. Michael's walking with a cane but getting stronger every day. He's back to coaching part-time, and Tyler's the star shortstop for the Roosevelt Tigers. Bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, Tyler comes to bat. "Come on, buddy," Michael calls from the stands, just like we practiced. Tyler looks back at us, grins, and steps into the batter's box. The pitch comes in high and outside. Tyler waits, patient, just like his grandpa taught him. The next pitch is perfect. Tyler connects, drives it deep to left field. The outfielder runs back, but the ball clears the fence by 10 feet. Grand slam, game over. Tyler rounds the bases like he's floating on air, and when he crosses home plate, he points straight at his dad in the stands. Walking to the car after the game, Tyler between Michael and me, I think about the past year. About evil people who hurt good families. About justice served. About the power of never giving up on the people you love. "Grandpa," Tyler says, "Mom's in prison forever, right?" "A long time, buddy. Long enough for you to grow up safe." "Good. Dad deserves better." Michael ruffles his son's hair. "Dad deserves you guys. That's all I need." That night, after putting Tyler to bed in his own room for the first time in 8 months, I sit on my back porch with a beer. Michael's inside, helping with homework like fathers should. The sounds of normal family life drift through the screen door. Tyler's laughter, Michael's patient voice, explaining math problems. Some people think being suspicious makes you paranoid. They forget that protecting family is the most important job in the world. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones you need protection from most. But sometimes, if you're lucky and you fight hard enough, justice wins, family wins, love wins, and that's enough.